Hello students, this is Professor Arceneaux making this video for JMS 200. We're a large class, a very large class, I understand, and there's still some confusion and still some questions about how this thing called PackBack works. If you got full credit on the first PackBack assignment already, you don't have to watch this video. You're done. Go, okay? If you didn't get full credit on the PackBack assignment and you would like to get full credit, and if you care about your grade, if you would like to get an A in the class, I repeat, if you would like to get an A in the class, you should watch this video so you understand how PackBack works. Do I have to pay for PackBack? Is it free? Does the university give it to me for free? Yes and no. Okay. If you are in the program called Day One Ready, if you're in Day One Ready, you're going to get your textbooks online. They're going to show up in Canvas. You click that button, boom, there's a textbook. If you're in Day One Ready, you get PackBack. It's all bundled together. Okay. You don't have to pay anything extra. You're paying for that Day One Ready. So it just comes to you with Canvas. I'm not in Day One Ready, Professor Arsenault. What do? I found it more economical to opt my way out of Day One Ready. Well, then you're going to have to pay for PackBack. So you will have to pay for PackBack if you are not in Day One Ready. If you are not in Day One Ready, you have to pay for PackBack. How much does it cost? I don't know off the top of my head. I'm not a salesperson. I don't get money from this. Click the links. Just follow the links in Canvas. That's all you have to do. At a certain point, you're going to get prompted. It said, hey, you got to pay for a subscription. They'll offer you like a semester long subscription, whatever that is. Pay for it. I apologize. Lo siento, mafkaro, you have to pay for it, but you have to buy textbooks for college. That's just the cost of education. And you'll get access to PackBack for the rest of the semester. So most of y'all are in Day One Ready. You're not going to have to pay anything extra. Some of you will have to pay, but if you just follow the links in Canvas, click the assignment links in Canvas, it'll prompt you when the time is right and tell you how to get in and enroll. Okay. Do not go to PackBack, pull out your credit card or your parents' credit card and sign up for an account and then try and link PackBack into SDSU Canvas that way, because that's not going to work. Don't go to PackBack and sign up for a subscription. Just follow the links in Canvas. PackBack is worth 15% of your grade. That's why I said if you care about an A, you should pay attention. 15% of your grade. Okay. And if you're doing the math, it means you're not going to get 100. At most, you're going to get 85 at most. Okay. So, what are the basic requirements? PackBack is like a discussion board. It works really, really well. Okay. There's a weekly deadline. When is that deadline, students? Thursday, 11:59 p.m. That's end of the day Thursday. I don't want to say midnight because midnight's confusing. Is it Thursday? Is it Friday? End of Thursday. End of the day Thursday. So you have all day Thursday to do it. In fact, you could do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. You can do it anytime before the deadline. Don't do it at the last second. Don't log in Thursday at 11:30. Do it early. Okay. You can do it Saturday or Sunday. These things are open way in advance. Post one question, one original question, and I'll show you some examples of good questions. Post two responses, one question, two responses. Okay. Everything you post has to get a minimum curiosity score of 50. The system will grade you and evaluate you if it's not a good question, if it's poorly formatted, if it's too short, if it's cryptic, if it's a yes, no. None of those are good. You want to get a good curiosity score. And the system will tell you what the curiosity score is, and you can adjust it. You can edit, you can revise, you can keep revising it. So there's no reason you should get anything less than a 50 curiosity score because you can revise it. Okay. One question, two responses, everything gets a minimum curiosity score of 50. Two other important notes. The grades don't show up in the Canvas until after the deadline. So say you did the assignment early, which is good. Good students do the work early. You did it on Monday or Tuesday. Don't email me and say, how come the grade's not there? Because the grade will show up after the deadline. That's when the two systems, PackBack and Canvas, communicate. They generally communicate very well. They'll talk to each other. Your grade will show up. Okay. So don't be scared. The video lecture, the grades show up immediately. That's a different system. PackBack is its own system. Grades don't show up immediately, but they will show up, inshallah. Okay. Be optimistic. Have faith. Your grades will show up after they have synced. Okay. And this is good news. Good news is lowest two. The lowest two scores are dropped, not the lowest one, the lowest two. So you join the class late, You missed the first PackBack. That's one we're going to drop right there. Coming up in a week, you have to travel for an athletic event, travel for a wedding, you have a job, your kid's cranky, whatever. You miss one, we'll drop that one as well. Okay. You don't get extra credit if you do them all. You do not get extra credit if you do them all. Just do them all, keep engaged, have some fun, interact with your classmates, but do have some reassurance that the lowest two grades are dropped. So if you already got a 0, we're going to drop that one. Okay. I just pulled this off the PackBack site. Some of the things that are taken into consideration when they are determining the curiosity score. Is the question open-ended? If it's too short, you need to write something, just 2 or 3 sentences usually is fine. You don't have to write like 500 words. Please don't use AI to generate an essay here. Just use your own thoughts to come up with 2 or 3 sentences. If you cite a source, you don't have to. If you cite a source, that helps. And it should be original, because if it's plagiarized, PackBack will say, hey, dude, you just copied a paragraph from Wikipedia. Okay. So just use your own thoughts, your own words. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be engagement. It's not supposed to be super, super difficult. Okay. Here's an example of a question. All the questions I'm showing you got well above 50 curiosity score. Has there been a show, movie, which has changed your entire reality? Jack here is talking about Top Gear. Okay, I would not have thought about Top Gear here, Jack, but kudos to you. And Peter says, without social media, would our government/society be so divided? Good question. Does social media increase divisions? Does it bring people together? Does a little bit of both? Very good question there, Peter. And then finally, a question by Emma. Who do you believe is most vulnerable to being influenced by social media? Now, these questions deal with the topic of the week, media theories. In upcoming weeks, when there's a new topic, the question should apply to one of those kinds of things, whatever the topic of the week is. Here, I'm going to stop my share just for a moment. Okay. And can you go on, say, Arceneaux, I don't see any question that sparks my interest. There's nothing I want to respond to. You can go back, if we're in week 3, week 4, week 5, you can go back to a previous week. You can answer something over there. It still counts. Okay. So if you don't see anything, maybe you're the first person, you're the early bird, there's no questions for you to respond to, go to the previous week. Okay. You can do that. Also, several times during the semester, I will post a question or a poll or something where I want your feedback. I want your input on something. There's a question I put up there right now about newspapers. If you respond to something that I post, your response still needs to get that minimum curiosity score of 50. That's not the whole assignment. That's not the whole assignment. The assignment is always 1 question, 2 responses. Okay. So just because I post a question doesn't mean that's the entirety of it. Okay. And if you need help, this is in the syllabus. This email address is in the syllabus. If you have some issue, technical concern, maybe your post is flagged, it gets some feedback you don't care about, email them. It's a separate company. The grades import into Canvas. If you do everything by the deadline and follow the link, yeah, I forgot to mention that. You need to click the assignment link that's in Canvas. All you have to do is follow along in Canvas, click the assignment link. Your grade is going to come in to Canvas correctly. If you don't click that link, your grade's not going to come over. Okay. So if you're concerned about your grade, click the assignment link. And here we have, I think this meme is called Kombucha Girl. Okay. Not following instructions and emailing Professor Arceneaux about poor grades for PackBack. No, 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 no. We don't want to do that. Here we go. Post 1 original question, post 2 responses, all post minimum curiosity score 50. By the deadline, you're going to get full credit. You're going to get full credit. So hopefully I've covered the basics. If you already understood this, great. It just says repeat. Cement that in your brain. If you had trouble during the first assignment, maybe I've addressed your questions or concerns. And if you haven't started doing PackBack yet, you really need to, because it's worth 15% of your grade. Okay. So hopefully this answers your questions. You can email me if you have questions, but I'm relatively certain that I've answered most of your concerns right here. Okay. See you soon.